Hey guys, welcome to Daily Lead Code, and today's lead code question is count pairs whose sum is less than target. So what we have basically is we have an array of numbers. In this case, we have this array and we have a target. We need to find pairs, so we need to count pairs which sum is less than target. So in this case, if I do -1, 1, that's 0. 0 is less than target, which is 2. So we will increase our count by 1. Then we go ahead and see 0 and 2, 0 and 4. So in this case, we will have total 3 of the pairs whose sum is less than target. So hopefully the question is not too difficult to understand. And there are basically two ways, there are many ways, but two broad ways of solving this question. The first is the brute force, and second is two pointers method. We will be discussing both, but if you are interested in two pointers method, you can skip the video to that part. So let's talk about brute force first. Okay, so let's say we have an example 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we have our target, which is let's say 5. So for the brute force, we need to run two loops. So the outer loop iterates through each element in the array, and the inner loop starts from the first element, 0 plus 1, right? So this element. So we have our I initially equal to 0, and then we will have our j is equal to 1. So we'll write our for loop I equal to 0, I less than nums dot length, and I plus plus, and we will call it nums. In the inner loop, we will have j equal to I plus 1, and j will be less than the same nums dot length and j plus plus. So that's I and that's j, and in that we will be comparing each element with each other. So in this case, so let's say we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 1 will be compared with 2, 3, and 4, and then similarly 2 will compare with 3 and 4, and 3 will compare with 4. So this loop will go like that. And for the first case, we will have 1, 2, then we will have 1, 3, then 1, 4, and then we have 2, 3, 2, 4, and then 3, 4. So if we find how many are less than 5, so this only 2. So let's see how to solve this problem. So first of all, we need a count variable, right? So let's make a count equal to 0 here. And then we will have two for loops. The first one is I equal to 0, I less than nums dot length, and I plus plus. Then we have our another loop. J is equal to 0, and j is less than nums dot length and j plus plus. And now we're checking if nums of I plus nums of j is less than target. Then we will bump the count by 1 value, and I'll return the count. And if I submit that, I'm sorry, I forgot to initiate the second loop with I plus 1 value. That's why it was failing. So if I submit now, it should work. Yeah, so this is working, but this is not the best way. As you can see, we are using two for loops, so the time complexity of this algorithm is of n square. So now we will discuss our second approach, which is two pointers method. Okay, so understand the two pointers method, we need to take care of a few things. First of all, the array should be sorted. So let's say we have a sorted array 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and we have a target of 7. Let's call it nums. In two pointers method, we will have two pointers. Let's call it the left and we call it right. So we need to find a pair, right, which sum is less than 7. If we take the first element, which is 1, and if we take the fifth element, which is 5, and if we sum it, it has a sum of 6, and the target is 7, so this condition is true, right? So what's happening here is, we can see that because 4 is less than 5, so 1 plus 4 will always less than 7. Similarly, 1 plus 3 will always less than 7, and so on. So how many pairs did we get here? We get 1, 2, 3, 4. And how did we get this number? We can subtract that. So 5 minus 1, we get 4. So in this case, we get 4. And then we need to do the same calculation again. In that case, if the condition is satisfied, then we will move this pointer to here. Maybe I'll change the color. So we'll move this pointer to here and we'll keep it here. We don't need to move the right one. So if we do 5 plus 2, which is 7, condition does not satisfy. Now we will move this pointer to here. Now it says 2 and 4, which is 6. And 6 is less than 7. If we do 4 minus 2, we'll get 2. And if we add these two, because see, now we will have 3 and 4, which is 7. We don't need to do that. We can clearly see our solution will be 4 plus 2 equal to 6. So in the two pointers method, so first of all, we need to sort this array. So we can do that nums dot sort a comma b a minus b. So this will sort the array, and let's take the left value 0, and let's take a right to nums dot length minus 1. So that's the last element. So left will be the first element and right will be the last element. And let make our count equal to 0 for now. We will using a while loop. So while left is smaller than right, let's make sum of those two values. So nums left plus nums right. And if sum of this is less than target, we have our count is equal to count plus right minus left. And if this condition satisfy, we will, as I showed you, the left counter will move to one place. If this condition is false, then we will have our else block, and we will make right minus minus. And if I save it, and fingers crossed, I'm going to submit that, and it says wrong answer. Let me see, what did I do wrong? Well, I didn't return the count. Okay, so let's return the count. So we just return the count here, and if I submit this code, okay, it's accepted. And because we're using this nums.sort, the time complexity of this algorithm will be of n log n. And because we are traversing it also, that will be n log n plus n. But basically it will be n log n. And that's it from today's LeetCode question. I will see you tomorrow with new question. Thanks a lot for watching.